We just need to go live on Instagram as well. There we go. Checking connection. You know what? We are not going to use the Wi-Fi. Nope, because we don't need it. Because I have unlimited data with T-Mobile. And although you suck sometimes, that unlimited data is free. Okay, so if you're on, I see you on Twitter. Go ahead and say hi, say something. Okay, so let's do the ancestral guidance for this week. I channeled this morning, channeled a lot of things, had a lot of questions to ask my spirit guides, and they came true. So, my name is Lisa Phillips. I am a real estate investor, best-selling author, speaker, real estate investing influencer, but what I do today on this channel is I also have a spirituality slant to it. I channel my ancestors, I channel angels and other beings in different realms on a higher level. And I love channeling my ancestors, for you guys who don't know, because my particular ancestors are magicians. My particular ancestors are warriors. They're women. They're 50 warriors deep, right? And so the advice they give in the energy reading, I find, has a different slant and is very more grounded and down to earth than some of the other beings. There's a lot of galactic beings and what you would call alien or extraterrestrial. We call them galactic. That's what they prefer. There's that are being channeled, but I do find with them that I look at them a little side-eyed because they all do have their own agendas, and that's why I really like the angels, but the angels can be very high level, and my ancestors are just here to help me help my black community and people ascend. So they have one goal and one goal only, and they're not as biased. So I'll just say this before I start. It is so important for you to get in touch with your own ancestors, because your ancestors, I've met people where they are the seers, they are the oracles, they are the fortune tellers, right? And so your reading will be different than mine. And it's important for us to start tapping into this sacred and ancient and elevated knowledge through the prism and lens of our ancestors. So on my channel, Lisa Soulful of Healing, I have a free ancestral trauma clearing. It clears it from your DNA and it upgrades your DNA. And also, if your ancestors haven't stepped forward, they will step forward during that healing. So that is very, very powerful. I want you guys to do it. So the energy reading from November 5th to November 12th is, I have to look at my notes. They said, okay, it's going to be very important this week to not go into fear and keep the trust in yourself and the higher purpose. There's going to be a backlash towards outside events. There's going to be sort of like an upheaval, they said, or and watch, but don't get involved as things maybe get turned on its head. Things that we were used to doing traditionally are going to be out of the question. Focus on your positivity throughout. Now, this is the same reframe, but they're just saying, and you know, they're really they were really accurate when they were saying for November, you're going to see things go, election. Okay, oh my, he won, but he's not conceding, but he can't do anything. Oh my gosh, but like it's up and down. So they were definitely, like, every 3 days, the complete political and thus climate on the ground is changing. And so we just have to understand that's going to happen. It's supposed to happen. Don't get caught up. I was getting caught up in the results, but that doesn't matter. What you need to do is every day say, I'm grateful, be thankful, and get your vibration up. That's all you need to be doing, okay? So that is what it is for this week. Just stay focused on your positivity as you see these things. Oh, everyone concedes at the election. It's not happening, okay? So things are going to get turned on its head. Now, for someone like me who knows that's coming on, you know, if you know what's not happening, you're not getting worked up about this, okay? And if you do not, you are getting worked up. So, you know, decompress, don't watch the TV. On the election stuff, I might look at it for 5 minutes a day, get the highlights from like a non-super biased source, and keep it moving. Literally like global news, BBC, you know, or directly from the source. Like, I don't go through CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, because, you know, what's the point, right? So do what you can. So that's the weekly energy reading, and I'll have more spirituality topics, especially about ascension, upgrading your DNA. What does it mean to do that? And thank you guys so much. Oh, naturally near. Hey, I'm going to look for that healing. Oh, yes, ma'am. And when you do it, Nira, let me know who stepped forward. Let me know what you saw and heard. Post it underneath the comments, because depending on what you say, I might give you further advice depending on if they were trying to contact you and you couldn't do it, on how you can navigate from seeing them, feeling them, hearing them, either one of those three, all three, or maybe one of the others, and being able to start communicating them with a very real, very definite way. Also empowering them, because, is it under the playlist? Just Google, like Lisa, Soul Level Healing, and Ancestral. I have a couple of things in Ancestral Trauma Healing. If you sign up for the email list, you can get the Ancestral Generational Curse Breaking. And it breaks it from all space and time throughout past, present, and future. It clears it from your, and it clears it from theirs. So you're actually doing it not just for you, you're doing it for them, but doing it for them helps you. Because the more I empowered my ancestors, the more I got helped, right? Because they could stand up more boldly and proudly on this 5D film, helping me do everything, ensuring that I make it to Ascension. I don't even have to worry about it. Also upgrading my DNA, also bringing back sacred knowledge. So I'm a magician, so the things that they're bringing back for me is like ancient arts. I went back to Mayan. I've been back to Egyptian. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if the next thing they take me through, because I go through different trainings with them, now that I can communicate with them. I wouldn't be surprised if the next one's Druid, because I'm sure I did that at one point too. And what they're doing is with them versus not with the angels, who are good, but they don't know you the same way. We are, the angels were good, and they helped me cleanse my vibration, raise my vibration, get more in tune with a higher level in consciousness of being. But my ancestors are like, no, Lisa, you know this. You know this Mayan technology. You know this, I'm sure, just in my head, I just know Druid's next. You know this Druid rune making. You know Kundalini and accessing the serpent power in order to make your manifestations. Like, they are taking me through every single code of remembrance. So when I say I had another video on my 15% of my DNA being activated, most of that's through working with the Merlin energy. The other's my ancestors, those meditations I do, and they're like, we're going to help you through this. We're going to activate this. And I don't even know what's happening sometimes. I just know that they're like, this is what we're going to do. And I don't quite clean my energy gaps. Okay. Or connect me to nature. Like, some things I know, connect me to nature. I don't know exactly what they're doing. I just know we did 10 sessions of meditations connecting me to nature. But I also know now when I do any of my magical workings, it's 18 times more powerful, right? You know what I mean? So it's, my connection is deeper, so they're activating my codes. And I'm actually going to do another live about that, because, the higher your frequency, the more of the high frequency you can take in. Nira says, thanks. I'll let you know how it goes. My ancestors have already said, we're good. Right. We are chosen. My grandmother said I have a lot of gifts I'd love to remember. Yes and no. I'm definitely going to look for them. Yes. And like I said, I love my archangels. Like, I talk to them every day. I'm always asking them for help. But it's your ancestors know you and your path and your purpose, right? And it's different because out of all the work I've done with the angels, they weren't like, okay, this is what you need to do. This is what you need to do. This is what you need to do. Your ancestors know what you need to do. And it's not going to be high level. It's going to be very specific to not only your path and purpose, but very specific to what you're supposed to remember, because you spent a lot of lifetimes gaining a lot of skills and knowledge. So that 98% of junk DNA, which I hate using that word, I hate using that word, 98%, you should start activating, get it to 100%. I've activated about 13% more than what most people use, right? That's these energy upgrades and doing this energy work. it takes time. I always tell folks, like, look, I have these healing videos. I have these energy upgrades videos. Y'all don't look at them. So y'all don't have to do them. You can just listen to me talk, but showing up and actually doing the meditations, the energy work, that takes you from this level to this level. That's why I'm walking so sure in what I do, and that's why I walk so powerfully in my magic, just because, like, I show up and do the work, I get rewarded for it, you know? So that's what I'd like to see. So I'm going to end this now. Actually, I'm going to do one more right after this, just because there are some things I heard some other people talking about, and I just want to give my perspective with what I know. And just stay tuned. All right. Thank you, guys. Oh, and I'm doing an introduction to channeling class this Friday. Highly recommend it. Highly recommend it. Highly, 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 highly. Okay? All right. Thank you guys so much. And just look under the YouTube. Well, go to my Facebook group, my soul, facebook.com, my soul powered life. I'll put it in the box here. And you'll see the event. Okay, yeah. So it's listening, but it is actually energetically working on your system. And either, depending, it's cleansing, upgrading, aligning, or activating different DNA's aspects of you. So sometimes they're a little boring, but like I show up every day. I do it for like an hour. So you know what I mean? At least sometimes 2 to 3 hours if I have that time, meaning nothing's on the calendar. Because there's so many avenues I'm working on. I'm working with Merlin. I'm working with my ancestors. I'm working with one of my past lives spirits, who's Mayan, who steps forward, and she's activating different aspects of my Kundalini that she knows, that she has in her time, that she's doing for me, that my ancestors don't know about. So it's very interesting. I'm starting to learn certain entities know certain compartmentalized items. Yeah, well, it's like almost every week, Nira, I'm having a heavy, like yesterday and Sunday, heavy dose, just super tired. So I know there's a shift. So there's different shifts. We had a big one in July, a big one in August. Now, the big ones that I'm talking about were like a week, like mid-July, or around the 4th of July, and one in September. And I recognize them because I'm extremely tired for 3 or 4 days. And then I wake up on the 5th day like, I love life, because like it's so consistent. Like, I love life, man, because you feel so good. Now, we're getting smaller doses, so like maybe on Mondays, I'm super tired, right? And then I know it because I know my body. I know when I'm tired like that versus not. And I know when it's like, no, something's going on energetically. So just about every, like the last 3 weeks, like Sundays and Mondays, I've been feeling that higher energetic shift of energy. But the ones I felt the last 3 weeks were not the same as the other ones. Like I said, the other ones are just marked by this super high vibrational. I literally wake up saying God is good. Like, it's ridiculously how high I am vibrating after those bigger shifts. And these are just more like maintaining them, ride the wave. So I did not, but go ahead and talk to me about your experiences that you feel and what's going on. It's very interesting though. I didn't expect that, but all of my spiritual gifts that I have developed are getting more powerful. Manifestations, channeling. Oh yes, your kids are going through them. Oh, isn't that precious? Like, I'm so bringing my girl up to know angels exist and how to talk to them. I'm like, Layla, you want to do some magic? And she's 4, so she's like, yeah, can I marry Jacob? I'm like, no. But yeah, like, it is so awesome for our kids, because our kids are so important, and we're their parents for a very big reason. I am awake. I am woke. I am my daughter's mother for such a huge purpose. Do you know what I mean? So you are your kids' mothers for such a huge purpose here in this year of 2020. And, just always, that, but like, please understand it from a broader perspective. We are raising the next generation who are going to grow up going, love is the answer. She's already like that. And that's what this world needs. And I'm just so glad that, like, I've learned my lessons in time to, I think I'm a really decent parent now versus if I hadn't have learned all these spiritual lessons, I wouldn't have been as compassionate, as kind, as patient. So just blessed that, I got with the program and enough time to go, start raising her, I think, in a more loving, patient way. You said my middle son is gifted. He's like, Mommy, I'm tired for the past 3 days. Yes! That is why I'm doing this Tuesday. Oh my God. This last week, and it was Sunday, Monday, and then last week, Sunday, Monday. It was last week, Sunday, Monday. So last 3 weeks. I wanted to come on. I couldn't. I could not do it. So he is correct. Have him go to bed early. Okay. Oh, and my soulmate. I won't call him boyfriend because that's another issue. Woo, if you think you're ready for these soulmate relationships, but like he's going to bed early too, so it's just very funny because we're night owls, so it's just very obvious when that thing hits us. And he's a super Scorpio. It's like in 6 of his houses, so he's very connected because that's such a deep fixed water sign. Very connected. So we both are like 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning sleepers. So for us to both be out by 9, like that says a lot. Right. You had a group nap. Right. Y'all had a group nap. And you know what I like about that? Like, just like me and him and people who are aware, you're following that guidance. You're saying, okay, we're not doing this. We're going to sleep. And we have to be that obedient right now. We have to be like, body says this, do it. Not, let me just do one more errand because you know what's going to happen on that errand when you don't listen to spirit? You're going to get in an accident. There's just something's going to happen, okay? Or you're not going to be refreshed enough to handle what's coming next. But all of this is upgrading at a point where we can handle it. So, I'm actually going to have a conversation about soulmates and, like, my experience and if you want one. I would only call a soulmate in when you're really ready because my twin flame, I have a twin flame and a soulmate, which is sort of funny. And my twin flame is in a soulmate relationship too, and he's just not as just elevated in consciousness, and neither is she. They're about 12 years younger. And, be ready because the love is so strong and the heart is so strong. But if you don't have the emotional intelligence and capacity to be able to be vulnerable, to not hurt, to not lash out, you just have this strong bond of love that's almost addictive, but you're hurting, so you hurt them instead of trying to take a step back. So the love's going to bring you together again because you have these strong soul ties. This is multiple lifetimes, but you have so much hurt underneath it, right? And I'm just like, when don't ask for the soulmate unless you're ready. The love is unconditional and it makes you feel so good. But, like, if you don't have the emotional intelligence, you just put hurt on top of hurt on top of hurt. And this relationship's not going to go away. You're just going to have more hurt for the next one. Nira's saying that her husband's gifted. He's fighting it. He's fighting it, though, right? I mean, it's your choice. It's not pretty if you fight it. Me and the babies are vibing together. Love it. Soulmates, I don't know what the heck my husband is. Girl, you don't want a soulmate. Nah, I'm just kidding. You would know he's a soulmate because it's very, you guys are literally connected. It's telepathic. It's ridiculous. Like, if I have an issue with him in my mind, he will speak to the issue without me bringing it up. Like, he'll bring it up and speak to the issue. Now, it could be because he's a Scorpio, but I think it's I think he's a little bit of this might sound a little weird, but if you're going to roll on this channel, you just need to be open to things. So I'm reading this book on vampire magic. Great book. I'm like, this is what I do. Wow, they're real magicians as well. And they've kept those arts. And I swear he might be a vampire. So, like, it's not like, yeah, you're a vampire now. But in one of your lives, you explored that aspect. And so, but you just gotta understand all the things that you think are fiction are real. Okay? You take my channeling class. You can talk to anyone you want. I have not personally spoken to vampires and don't think I will anytime soon. But, like, you really start understanding, wow, this is real. Merlin's real. Ancestors are real. Spirits are real. Galactic beings are real. So these things are going to sound so shocking, but this is a matrix, right? Everyone here is an alien from a different galaxy incarnated in a human body. And our job is to find out and remember who we are, where our star family's from, who we are at the core level, what we spent all these past lives doing. Take all those skills and open them up in this lifetime, activate that DNA and those blueprints so you can walk that, help raise your vibration, raise your frequency, but also more easily have the impact you're here to make. Nira is saying, I'm 28. That's been my lesson. We've been married since I was 23. Yeah. That's okay. The things he stuck to me like we're connected. It's annoying. He always knows what's going on with me. Yeah. You'll also recognize it by like there's this cocoon of happiness that surrounds you. But I would also say you know it because the lessons are big. Like I have to get so vulnerable. Otherwise, I lash out or I get vulnerable. So when something hurts me, there were times you want to go to anger, but at my level of at least trying to get more emotionally intelligent, that was never my thing. I was a little bit more of a blunt, of too sharp, like a hammer. But you know, learning it. But like in order for us to get past it, since I know it's unconditional love, and I know that if he's triggering something, it's with me. I gotta get vulnerable. Like when I was in high school, the kids did this, and it's like things are coming up from a high school about thoughts about me, and you just have to be able to get vulnerable and open up. So I mean, I say they're amazing, but you better be ready. Like don't play, don't do it when you're not ready to really be introspective and get vulnerable because things are gonna get triggered. And you know it's unconditional love, so you know you just have to be honest and say what it is, even though it goes back way far back. It wasn't necessarily them. Nira says, wow, yes, the whole wrapping my head around the fact that things are real has been mind-blowing. Yeah, I take it easy on telling you guys about my dragon guides, which are amazing and the most powerful beings you can get. So definitely in the channeling class, I'm going to talk about how you might connect to them. I don't connect with every being, but your ancestors, angels, and dragons are great places to start, especially for dragons for protection because it's unbreakable. Like no one messes with the dragons, okay? Demons, like no one messes with the dragons, okay? They're super powerful. There's an angel standing guard at my house and a Wendigo walking around. Girl, isn't that cool? Offer the angel if you can. They generally like flowers and water, so I have these crystal bowls. So if you get flowers from your husband, or you just buy them at the grocery store, that is a nice little gift. You don't have to give. Angels are pretty high integrity, meaning they don't necessarily need anything to want to help you. Their goal is to help you because that's good for the planet, whereas other beings want things, but they're so good. And they'll appreciate the flowers. Or you can ask. It sounds like if you can see them, you can probably communicate with them. So, girl, I don't know what a Wendigo is. It sounds a little serious. But, yeah, so glad you're on. I am going to log off for now. I want to do the other ones. I'm going to do it. I think about the upgrades, energy upgrades, and how much can you absorb. And last thing, Nira says, yes, I learned so much through him. He's healing God. Yes. Yeah. He's healing God. The lessons I fought it for years. I just work things out on now. My throat chakra is clearing too. Yeah. So for me and my soulmate, I think we've broken up like 5 or 6 times. But every time we do, we come back together. There's like such a level of growth and transformation on both of our parts. And even for me, it's like, I grow in my divine feminine because he's such a divine masculine or sacred masculinity, as you call it. I can't be all forceful and controlling. So I got to back up. And if you haven't noticed my energy, I'm a warrior. I go for what I want. But this has been interesting to get what I want, but going through it more in of a divine feminine, which is not telling or trying to control, but like releasing and observing and going, this is how I feel. And I literally hand problems to him instead of trying to tell him what to do. And he has his own ways of coming up with a solution that works for him, but it's very interesting, like backing up into like a more divine feminine role, right? And so it's just a learning lesson, and it's really growing my divine feminine template. And so I say they are great if you can do a soulmate relationship, but just be ready for the level of vulnerability you'll need, because things will get triggered. It has nothing to do with them. It has something to do with someone called you a name in 8th grade and you don't even want to admit it, but he's looking at you like nothing you did makes sense for what I said. And he is a super Scorpio, so like if you lie to him, like he knows. And I think he's a vampire, so, and we're soulmates. So there's just the 3 levels of telepathic connection, so I gotta be honest. FYI, if you ever date a Scorpios, just be nice. Just don't lie. Don't do white lies. They can handle the truth, even if it's ugly. Don't lie. They'll know. That's one. They are human lie detectors, okay? All my friends are Scorpios. I love them. The only negative is sometimes if you hurt them, they will make you know. They'll let you know that you hurt them. They'll hurt you a little bit too. But nothing too harsh or stinging. Just like a light dose of what they felt. So you have to go through with it. But outside of that, they're very awesome. So love you guys. And I'm going to see if I can do one more before I get too tired. I got to go do a whole like face routine. And later it gets... don't know if I can do it tonight. But I gotta get ready. Going on a date tomorrow with my soulmate. So talk to you guys later. But yeah, you can call in a soulmate if you want. I just said don't manifest it unless you're ready. I wouldn't do it when you're young. I'm glad I'm doing it now that I'm older.